The threat of coronavirus is wreaking havoc everywhere, from schools and universities to Wall Street and beyond. And by the way, the news business, too. In recent days, any number of news organizations have taken precautions.
CBS News has 2 known cases of coronavirus, so we have closed our New York broadcast center.
Other news outlets, like the Washington Post, are encouraging reporters to work from home. And while that sounds easy, take your laptop and you won't be docked sick days, it's more complicated than that. Think door-to-door shoe leather, like this scene from Spotlight.
Hi, I'm Sasha Pfeiffer from the Boston Globe.
Here at WGBH News, General Manager Phil Rado says it's a tricky balance between providing the public a service and keeping employees safe.
This is the time, I think, when people rely on us the most, but at the same time we have to be considerate of those who are being asked to go into the field and tell these stories.
And as Rado points out, it's not possible for broadcasters to do everything remotely.
Part of the job is to be in studios, to be able to broadcast, to be in the field and come back to help other people shape their stories. There is a collaborative aspect to this that cannot be replicated when people are sitting in their own homes.
So what happens if the state issues a shelter-in-place mandate, essentially telling everyone to stay home? What do news people do then?
I think we would appeal to be exempt. This is what we do. The answer is, I think we would figure out a way to continue to do the work. Might not be here. We might have to do it from our kitchen tables. We might have to Skype it in. We might have to hold a phone up to our face. But I think we would do it.
There's not a news person alive who would disagree. I have to say that just about our own company, they've handled this extremely well. And I also believe that CBS has handled it extremely well. I mean, they've had to make some really hard decisions. In 3 hours, they moved their entire radio operation from New York City down to Washington, D.C. They moved the morning show. They've had to move the evening news as well. They've had to make some really hard decisions about canceling late-night shows. They put off Colbert and some other shows. I mean, they're doing the right thing. Here at the station, we've got a great plan in place for staggering people in and out and isolating some so they can take, replace others if people get sick. So, I mean, it is, you were talking about leadership. It's all about not only just leadership within a company, but providing comfort. I mean, the communicators offer a lot of comfort to people out there, news people and other people, entertainers too. But they want to feel that you're in the same boat as them, and we are.
I think you're talking in part about moral leadership. I wonder in Massachusetts whether there is the kind of ban on activity that you're talking about. It will be similar to, for example, when there's a major snowstorm. They say all non-essential personnel should stay home. People should stay off the roads. In that case, media is allowed to continue to operate freely. I wonder, what would happen. I also think that, hey, look, we have to deal with this in the media. Newsrooms everywhere are going through the things you went through here, what CBS went through. Everybody's making decisions. We're all trying to do the best we can in our own ways, whether we're in media, we work at a supermarket, we work for a police department, my daughter works at a hospital. We're all having to make major adjustments in our lives.
Well, here we are. And, my daughter works at a supermarket, and those are going to stay open because people have to eat. And so I assume she'll be going into work every day. I agree with you, Mike. When we've seen these situations in the past, there's usually some sort of an exemption for the media. What's a little bit different about this is that after a major snowstorm, they don't want too many people out because they're getting in the way of first responders and all of that. This is a matter of transmitting a disease, and that's a very different situation.
It is. That's the closest I have in comparison. You wonder what would happen.
Yeah. Well, and it also, for those of us in studio, about people coming in as guests, they have to make a decision about, we're grateful for them to be a part of the dissemination of information as we continue to try to do our jobs,
Yeah, I agree with everything that's been said here and everything Phil Rado said. With similar thing going on over at our shop. And so my coworkers are nervous about it, particularly the ones that are out in the field. Yeah. I just, for the benefit of someone who might be tuning in and not maybe realizing this is a show about the media and the people who work in it, that the risk and the anxiety of us in the media is nothing compared with what the healthcare professionals and the first responders are going through right now and are going to be going through for months and months, and my hat's off to all those people.
Absolutely.
I'm sure,
Or people in businesses like Dan's daughter who have to come in
Right.
in contact with the general public. I was saying, I'm one of these people who squeezes the avocados. I mean, think about that.
Yes.
They
Everybody
can't-
does.
Everybody does.
But they
exactly.
can't stop people from doing that unless they get somebody to come along and take the avocado off of a high shelf for you. And
well, do you wash your avocado when you get it home?
No.
I have to now.
Well, I
Better.
think
You better start.
Yeah.
One of
Better
the
now.
interesting questions that's been brought up a lot, I think, particularly in sports reporting, is locker rooms have been closed
yeah.
off to reporters, and I think this is an important consideration. Many times teams and players don't want reporters around them in locker rooms, so will this
they
be the
use this?
excuse
I
once
thought
this
about
is
that.
gone by? And I think Dan Shaughnessy, locally in the Boston Globe, the sports columnist, made this asked this question. Will they use this as an excuse to shut off locker
Camel's
rooms
nose under the tent.
permanently?
Yeah.
Yes, and I hope that doesn't happen.
there were
I
some
don't think
people
it
in
will.
sports.
I don't think
I
it's
don't
going
think
to
it will.
happen. And
No.
I didn't
But
think
they're
that,
letting in all the other people in the locker room.
well,
just to be clear.
the sports is over at this point.
Well, they're going to. I'm sorry. I was
Yeah.
just going to say they're going to be frantic to try to get their revenue machine
Right,
going
right.
again, and letting reporters in is a big part of that.
I have to say, I mean, I thought that Dan Shaughnessy and Ken Rosenthal made some good points, but I also thought their timing left something to be desired.
Well, that was before everything was shut down.
But we were in the process of moving in that direction,
Yeah.
and that was like their biggest complaint.
But
It's
there
like,
were people
come
in
on.
sports, Joey Votto, is that his name, who responded and said, we rely heavily on the media to tell our stories, so we want them there.
And they'll be back.
Yeah, and I think they will too.